You just got a new puppy. That is very exciting. I'm Tom Davis, and I've been professionally working with dogs for over a decade. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the first 5 things you should do with your new puppy. Firstly, relationship is very, very important. Just like kids, everything that you do will shape and mold your puppy from the get. Some easy things right in the beginning for your relationship is hand feeding. So if you're feeding your dog morning and night, which most of you will, you can hand feed your dog. So you can make your dog work for their food. You take your kibble, you pour it in your treat pouch, and then you do a little bit of name recognition. So for this case, we'll go, Remy, come. Good, Remy, good. When you're training with your dog, you can do this, especially with a puppy, for 10 to 15 minute sessions, and then letting your dog be a puppy, running around, doing all the cute stuff that puppies do. But you do want to structure out your training so you don't overwhelm the dog and make the dog frustrated. 10, 15 minute sessions, put the dog away or end it. The next must-have is the place command. One of my absolute favorite behaviors to teach a puppy or any dog. Having people over, eating dinner, want to send your dog to a place safely, the place command will help you do that. It also is a really nice threshold, so putting your dog into an area and they can't get off until you release them. Again, that really helps with your boundaries and thresholds. So when teaching the place command, you're going to need your leash, your motivation or your reinforcement, and of course, your dog. We have a place command right here. You guys can use anything you want. You can use a cot, you can use a bed, you can use a towel. In this case, we have an elevated bed. Remy, place. Yes, good place. So I'm using yes as a reward marker verbally. Good. And what I'm doing, guys, is I have Stewart's Pro Treats, which is my favorite treats to use, which is basically little blocks of beef liver that the dog can work on. And he's still got puppy teeth, so it may take him a little bit of time, but I hold the treat like this in my hand, and then I work the dog this way. So this is really good for luring when you're doing heeling or you're doing down, but I don't give the dog the full treat when I'm using treats. If I'm using kibble, I'll probably give them the full piece of kibble at that point. And then we're gonna work on a break. So this is how you introduce your break as well. Remy, break. Good job. All right, so we're gonna play this out again. Remy, place. Yes, good place. And again, this is the first time I'm working with this dog and he's already understanding the concepts because my timing is right on point. I'm rewarding him with something that he really is motivated by, which is just this Pro Treats here. And remember, the break command is just as important to let the dog know that they can get off the place command. What you don't want to do is let the dog get off. So remember, we're talking about thresholds, relationship building, guidance, leadership, all that stuff. So he can stay here. He's going to be looking at me because I have the food. But if you do have a dog that's going to be moving around or wants to get off, make sure you use your leash pressure to keep him on there until you verbally release the dog with your break command. You can say whatever you want. The dog training industry can be kind of confusing. Some people say free, some people say okay, say tomato, it doesn't matter, you just have to stay consistent. Remy, okay, break, good. One of the biggest problems I see with my behavioral clients is lack of boundaries. This is also where a lot of anxiety starts. Dogs not really knowing which direction to go, so it's important you start off with boundaries right when you get your puppy home. So now we're gonna add the stay command, which is right in line with the place. Now, some people do implied stays, which means if you tell your dog to place that they should be there, good job, Rem, they should be there until you release them. A lot of people and a lot of my clients out there like to do a wait or a stay, so I'm just gonna show you really simply what that looks like on top of the place. Remy, place. Yes, good place. Okay, good. Remy, stay. He auto sits, that's fine, good. Mom and dad have probably been teaching him sit, so he's sitting because he wants to get paid. One of the biggest things that people forget to do, good stay. I'm gonna reward the stay as the dog is in stay. A lot of my clients will make the mistake of telling the dog to stay while they're doing it. So the dog is in a stay right now. I'm not gonna look at him and go, stay, stay, stay. It's a terrible thing to do for the dog. It can be confusing to them. I say place, they place. I say stay, they're staying. You're going to use positive reinforcement to teach the dog that what they're doing. Good stay, buddy. Good stay. Good. So you can use the good stay throughout the training process. Now remember, all of this stuff is very temporary for a dog learning something new. So over time, when the dog is really obedient and understands everything, I'm just gonna say one thing, the dog's gonna do it. I'll say good job, and that'll be it. Here, I'm gonna clean this up quick. If you guys want to win a one-on-one virtual session with me, all you have to do to be entered to win, like this video, turn on your notifications, and leave a comment in the comments below. Next on the list is the crate command. Teaching your dog to go in the crate will keep them out of trouble. It is also tremendously valuable to help with anxiety. It's also a safe place for them to go to, so it's really important to make sure that you have the crate command in place with your new puppy. A lot of dogs aren't crate trained because they don't condition them to the crate. So they get a crate, they get a dog, they try to throw him in, the dog freaks out. But what we're gonna do with Remy is he's never seen this crate, he doesn't know what it is. We're gonna make it a very pleasant experience for him for the first couple days before we even shut the crate door. Now, if you have a dog that's super confident, doesn't care, you can shut it at any time. But if you're conditioning the crate command to a new dog or a puppy, you wanna take your time and make it enjoyable with lots of positive reinforcement. We're gonna take our food, crate, there we go. Going into the crate, this is where the thresholds are gonna come into play here in a little bit, but he's gonna go in there, we're gonna reward him. Good crate, good crate, good crate. Okay, break, good job. Remy, crate, good. So we're throwing in the reward at the same exact time we're saying the behavior. So we're gonna throw it in and say crate at the same time. So when the dog hears crate in the future, they're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna rush into there because I'm gonna get paid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do it without throwing food in there so the dog is getting paid after the fact. Crate. Yes, good crate, there we go. So that was actually the dog going into the crate without chasing the food, which is exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna rep this out a couple times. Remember guys, this is a lab puppy. I'm a professional. Don't feel bad if your dog isn't getting this as fast as he is. Labs are one of the easiest dogs to train. And so take your time. It's okay if it's not going as fast for you guys. Break, Remy, crate. Yes, good crate. Nice work, good crate. Now we're gonna work on that stay really quickly. Nope, a little bit of leash pressure. Stay. Good stay, buddy. So making sure that the dog doesn't get out on his terms and on our terms. Again, this will put us into the driver's seat. This is really, really important to all dogs, not just puppies. So what we'll do is we'll break him out. He can come out, but he can't do that until we release him. Putting you into that driver's seat, ultimately establishing a fantastic, healthy relationship with your dog. Remy, break. Good, and then he can release on your cue. Good job, buddy, good crate. Fifth and final tip is going to be recall. So getting your dog to come back to you on command is obviously not only a safety thing, but it's also something that will make your life a lot easier. So if your dog is in your backyard, or like a lot of my clients and my personal dogs, ultimately they're gonna be off leash at the park, in the water, on the trails, and we need to introduce the recall. Now, I do have a full-length, in-depth granule video on how to properly introduce and sustainably keep your recall right here, but let's get into the introduction. Now, if your puppy is Velcro to you because you have motivation and there's nothing else going on in the room, that's normal and that's okay. This is the introduction. So this isn't going to be realistic. This is just the fundamentals, teaching the dog what the word means. So I'm gonna say the dog's name. Remy, come. Little leash pop. Yes, good, come. Good, and then paying the dog when they get to you. Big important part here, guys, is making sure you break the dog. Good, okay, break. Now the recall session is over. So this is what you're gonna do to start off. Remy, come. Little leash pressure to enforce it. Yes, good. That enforcement's really important. And then break, and then breaking the dog away. So you could do this for the first day or two in your house, making sure it's not distracted. And then over time, you're gonna do the 3 Ds: distance, distraction, and duration to make it more realistic. Again, click the link right here. Oh, you're gonna go in your crate? Good job, good crate. So click the link right here for a more in-depth video. A bonus tip for you guys is making sure that your dog does not develop any resource guarding. This means that your dog is being aggressive because they're holding on to something that they find of resource or high value. This is something that we see develop right under the owner's eyes or nose without even knowing it. Hand feeding, like we talked about earlier, will definitely be helpful, but other things that you can do is get your food bowl out, start breaking up your kibble, and start really just working with your dog around this. Now, if your dog has resource guarding and your dog is above the age of 5 months old, do not do this without a trained professional. This is a small little puppy that has puppy teeth that is still working on how to figure life out. So this is very safe for this puppy. If you have a puppy at home, similar age, younger than 6 months, this is something you can do at home as well. So you're taking your treats, you're taking your food bowl, you're taking your kibble, and you're basically just working this with your dog in your hands. I wouldn't allow the kids to do this. I would just make sure that you guys are starting this to eliminate or be proactive good against resource guarding. If you do see any resource guarding, again, I'm not gonna dive into what you should do only because it could be, potentially something that could be dangerous. So make sure you reach out to a trained professional specializing in behavior modification. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We don't always get an opportunity to work on foundation and obedience and puppies for sure, but we had an opportunity to do that. So thank you, Remy and his family, for allowing me to do this with him. Thank you guys for listening, watching, and I hope this helps. I'll talk to you next time.